And welcome, race fans, for another wonderful night of dirt racing action. This time coming at you from the Volusia Speedway out of Florida. Jeremy, again, that's around your neck of the woods, but we'll get to talking about that in a second. We are here again with the dirt junkies of the Over the Limit Racing League. They are, again, we have doubleheader action like what we do every Wednesday night with you folks, starting off with the DIRTcar iRacing Street Stocks series, and then rounding it out with some high-speed racing action with the Super DIRTcar iRacing Big Block Modified series. Both of you come in live from Volusia Speedway. Again, I am Dustin Longston, also known as Ballistic, and alongside me calling the shots every Wednesday night is the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing amazing. Looking forward to tonight's races. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's go.
It's going to be some fun ones here. Volusia always poses some good racing. It's got that very unique style track that's and layout that we do have, which makes it that much more fun when it comes to it. So again, we take a look at some of the track info. As you can see, they're gridding in the background there. It is a dirt oval, just hair under half mile in length. It is in Barberville, Florida. It does have a very unique style track layout as you're running around this here. So again, it is pretty fun. It's a good track layout. The weather today, Jeremy, seems to be a bit on the windy side. What do you got there?
Yeah, we were just talking about that in practice. It was floating between 5 and 7 miles an hour. And as the car's actually gridded, the flags just seem to kick up a little bit more. Right now, reading about 10 to 11 miles an hour coming out of the southeast right now. Might play a role, might not. A little bit windier than the past couple races, so pretty hot today too. 88 degrees. It is Florida though, that's expected, especially being around the summertime. Like, it's usually a little bit warmer than this, but the wind's kind of chilled down just a hair. But track's looking good, weather, clear skies, it's all good. Should pose for a great event tonight.
Indeed, it will pose for some good racing action as they start rolling off now behind that very clean, way too clean of a pace truck that we have here. Should not be that clean by the time this is done. Again, we are running heat formats here, so the way it's rolling is we do have heat 1 that will determine the inside row to that A main. Right after this will be heat 2, which will determine the outside row of our big A main event that we will have here tonight at Volusia. As we are getting ready to roll things off here. What do you expect tonight, Jeremy? What are we looking at?
You know, I participated in last night's event in the Fix Series. A lot of tight door-to-door racing is what I'm expecting again. No, it's open sets. It poses a little more spreading out of the field, but this track just really just calls for short, tight racing. The bottom gets really slick. The middle line seems to be the preferred groove. Sometimes it's the top. You can't go too high with that unique track style. The corners kind of flat out at the very top. So middle line is definitely preferred on the long run here. Yeah, I've seen a couple cars, though, run the short line and be really successful down there. But truck is down. Green flag is out. Race is underway.
And we got the 21 of Eddie Farnes leading him down into turn 1, coming out of turn 2, but he has the 27 of Dale Farnes right to his outside. So the Farnes boys side by side going into turn 3, but do not count out that 67 of Batiste that gives a little nudge to the 21 of Eddie, letting him know, hey, I'm here, buddy. I'm looking for that top spot as they go off in turn 1.
It looks like you need chrome numbers to be fast. Top 3, all of the shiny chrome numbers looking really good out there. But yeah, a little good start there for the front few cars. Kind of spaced out after that. The rest of the field, first and second, bumper to bumper entering turn 1 here on lap number 3.
Yeah, Eddie is not really looking to give that top position away. He's letting Dale know that he is still there, still looking to try to do it. But they both seem to be running almost identical lines as they go through, which is going to make passing a little bit more difficult. The only one that seemed to be running a little different than that is at 67 back there. As you can see him dive it down low, and that 194 is following suit there. Mr. Heathcock is also kind of diving it down low. And we did see yesterday that low line, if you could get your car to stick there, you could get some real good entries into that corner and right through that apex where the drivers would tend to kind of drift up if they were on that high side. So if you could make it happen and make it stick, it could be some good racing.
Yeah, you have to get really close to that wall, and as Donnie just showed us, it is difficult to do. He did nudge the inside wall of turn, was the tail. But yeah, that bottom, you have to get right up on that edge, or else you're going to get into that slick stuff, because not too many cars can hold the bottom and hold a quick lap time at the same time. Donnie, on the other hand, is making it look a little easier than what we're describing. He's kind of holding it. This time he goes to the midline, trying something a little bit new to maybe find some speed for the A main coming up, but yeah, the Farnes brothers here are just, they're going at it. They're not letting each other up for anything right now.
They're not, and you were talking about trying to get that low line working. Is right there on that camera feed. You can see some damage to the front nose of Donnie's car as he got a little too close to that inside wall, but that is so easy to do at this track. As the 21 of Eddie is now cutting to the inside of the 27 of Dale there, as he's really trying to give a run for his money, trying to get that top spot again where he started this heat race.
Yep, coming down to the last two corners here. They are side by side. Let's see who grabs it here. You're going to get up. Mr. Eddie takes the top spot. Dale P2 and Batiste fishing around on the top three.
I think you got the Farnes there flip-flop. Dale took that P1. Eddie took that P2.
Yeah, no, those can get confusing.
Again, though, overall a very good, clean race that we had going on there. And you already start seeing some of those lines come in. Now, yesterday in this one here, there was just a sliver on that low line, and everybody seemed to be running that midline going through the corners, and man, did it really start getting a sheen on it, and it started getting bumpy, which really started playing hell with a lot of the drivers as they were trying to maintain their lines going through the corners there, and it did lead to some of the some contact as well, which was kind of a bummer on that one. But I mean, as long as the drivers stay with it and they stay with what's going on, I mean, we'll be all right.
Yeah, with the track now it's laid out, the turn 1 and turn 4 are tightest corners, and you carry a decent amount of speed entering turn 1 because it's a straightaway, and it sharpens really quick, so you take a lot of speed and then you slide the car into that sharper corner. Turn 1 gets pretty bumpy, how the tires slide into that corner. It just causes quite a fun drive, I would say. Say at least entering that corner on a long run, and it gets real slick. So you have to be committed to a line, basically getting into turn 1, or else you will find some bumps that are unwanted that will upset the car. And when you're running side by side in a competitive race, those bumps can make or break someone's day.
They can. They definitely can make or break. The good thing about going into turn 1 is, yes, you do have to be committed to it, but this track here, again, we talked about the layout, does pose a very unique layout as it has that wide swooping backstretch. It's not really a straight backstretch, it's wide swooping. As the pace truck pulls in, green flag flies, and Gage and Burnett lead them off into turn 1.
Early advantage for Jordan Gage. Had a really good entry into turn 1 there, but end up actually side by side here. Looks like he's going to take the sole spot of P1 here unless Zach has something for him on the high side. He drifts up a little bit, does not succeed there. Single foul now entering turn 1.
Now this is where we're seeing two distinct lines going in, and a lot of the drivers now are starting to feel around, trying to find where the spots are going to be, where those lines are going to start developing for that A main as it comes up. You see Gage is sticking to that low side where Zach Burnett in that 14Z back there is getting a lot of pressure from the 7 of Jonathan Henry. They seem to be running that midline there as they're going up. Burnett now switched to the low line. I think he's trying to fish around to see what Gage is kind of finding there. Unfortunately, Gage is pulled out now to at least a 2 to 3 car length lead over Burnett in this Heat 1 race. Or Heat 2, rather.
Yeah, if you're watching Jordan there, he is 6 inches away from that inside wall in turn 1 when he enters in. You have to be committed, like I said, or else you're going to be finding yourself in that slick stuff, and it's not really fast. So it's either bottom or mid right now. I'm surprised how slick the track looks after just the second race is only halfway done. But yeah, the Jonathan Henry running pretty strong right now, just trying to find something there for the main. He's still battling a little bit there with Jason Gunnels for the top third spot, but they're searching right now. They're just trying to find what's best for him entering the main race here.
And yes, searching they are. We're on board right now with the 14Z of Zach Burnett. He's got a windshield full of the 0 right now of Jordan Gage. Gage is committed to that low line all the way through, and as you could tell from the live feed there, he's only a couple feet away from that wall and his nose scrubbing it. And it looks like Zach Burnett has now switched it, but Gage, and that's that line that I was talking about coming off of turn 2 because it's that wide gaping backstretch. Gage can let it float up to stop scrubbing off so much speed there, and it seems to really be working out because these two here are kind of checking out on the rest of the field.
White flag is in the air. Yeah. Oh, looks like leader might have tagged the inside. Well, he's got a pretty cool line there. He's carrying a lot of speed in the bottom, and then he slides all the way up to the very top there. They can turn 2. Haven't seen too many people do that, especially yesterday. But it seems to be working well for him as he does take the checkered flag. Jordan P1, Zach Burnett P2, and around the top 3 will be Jonathan Henry.
Absolutely, with Gunnels in that 4th position, and Matt Matundo rounding out your top 5 for heat race number 2.
Looks like we're going to heat race number 3. First time we've seen this. Since we have started the broadcasting over here at Over the Limit Racing. P1 right now is going to be Jeremy Vaughn. Second place will be Corey Austin. Your third place will be... Did he get on track in time? Looks like he did. Trevor Williams and then Joshua Pack in 4th. And that's going to be the 4 cars for the final heat.
Yeah, now I do know that talking with the league admins and owners for Over the Limit, again, it's an excellent racing league. They were wanting to try to cut back on the amount of congestion, seeing as these heat races do not pose any cautions. A yellow flag is never thrown in the heat races. It's drop of the green flag straight to the checkered flag. So to cut back on any unintentional contact or wrecks or mishaps that could happen, they wanted to limit the amount of drivers that they did have in each particular heat race. I do believe that they were limiting it to 6 drivers. They didn't want to go any more than 6 drivers, which is why with the amount that we have tonight, you see that we have broken it up and we are now on heat race number 3. Again, the way that everything works out is these heat races are there pretty much just to set up your A main. If you see any restarts, it's going to be in that A main, and that's where we're going to see those awesome Delaware starts that Over the Limit has made fun and an awesome spectacle to watch on some of these races.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100% agree there. Pace truck is pulling down. Green flag is out. Jeremy Fine leads them to the green flag. Side-by-side entering turn 1 here. Looks like he's going to get a decent entry into turn 1. Corey Austin definitely not letting up on that high side. He ran pretty high, actually, more so than what I expected. They're still door-to-door entering turn 3. Jeremy slides up a little too much and gives Corey the sole position of P1.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. That low line is good as long as you can commit to it and you can get that car to stick down there. And it doesn't take much for it to drift up. And as you've seen right there, it cost Vaughn that top spot there. It was just enough of a wiggle to allow the 92 of Austin to sneak right on by on that high side. But Vaughn's not done yet. He's closed up to the back bumper of Austin now and is really starting to pressure him there for that top spot again. Again, folks, this is just heat race. This isn't even the A main. This isn't for all the glory right here. This is just for starting position.
Yeah, he wants to correct his mistake on that second lap there. He wants that spot back. He knows he's got the car to do it. He wants it. You can see he's hungry. He's trying everything right now. Good practice for the A main coming up here. Jonathan Wiley didn't actually get the grid on time. He is on track now, turning some laps, getting some practice in as well. But yeah, the battle on the track is for first place. Really hard fought battle so far.
Yeah, again, as Jeremy Vaughn is not letting up, but he's right there going through those corners for 1 and 2. got one heck of a run coming off, and now he does a crossover, side-by-side, nose-to-nose as they come to the line, going off into turn 1. Looks like Vaughn will prevail, but look at the 92 of Corey Austin fight back on that inside on that crossover. These two are putting on a hell of a show.
Man, yeah. Corey definitely threw it in turn 4 way too wide, gave Jeremy all the space possible, and then tried the crossover. He got to his door. It does not look like he's got the inside speed as he does on the high side. Jeremy seems to be doing pretty well up there for himself. Gets back to single file, coming to the white flag. Looks like they're both going to run the high line this time around. And everybody else is pretty spaced out so far in the back there. Vaughn and Corey both running the top line. Runs a little wide on that flat stuff, but so does Corey there at the very end of that exit. And he shoots down low just to try something here. Does not look like it's going to stick. Jeremy Vaughn's going to take P1 in heat race number 3, followed by Corey Austin, Jonathan Pack, Trevor Williams, and the top 5 will be Jonathan Wiley.
I tell you what, that was some good racing that we had going on there. And that is just the start of what we can expect to see coming to this A-main race. These drivers were putting on slide jobs and crossover maneuvers, and again, that was just for the heat race. These drivers are not going to leave anything out there. We do want to remind everybody out there that this is not a fixed league. These drivers come here, they practice, they put time down. These are open setups, custom setups that a lot of these drivers are working on, and they do a heck of a job. And I tell you what, they wheel these machines, and it gives us some of the greatest racing to call, some of the greatest racing to watch, and some of the cleanest racing as far as dirt goes.
As clean as dirt can get, right? Anyways. Yeah, it's a stacked field tonight. More cars than last week, actually, than the whole season. Like this is a very nice set of cars in this field. All the skins out here, top notch. Dirt Slinger Wraps has most of the skins on the track that you see right now. So if you like a skin out there, it's probably made by them. Shout out to them, by the way. But yeah, this is a really nice field here. Really looking forward to see how the big field's going to be. We had about 14 cars, I think, last night, and this is topping that, so I'm excited.
Yes, this should be an excellent race. So you were talking about Dirt Slinger Wraps as one of the sponsors that is allowing this broadcast to go on. Again, Dirt Slinger Wraps doing a lot of the paint jobs that you see out here. Some beautiful work. You want a car wrapped? You want a car that looks like something you'd find at your local dirt track on a Saturday night or Sunday night over the weekend, hooting and hollering, rooting for your favorite drivers. Dirt Slinger Wraps is where to get it. Also, Hate Racing Unlimited. Again, the owner of Over the Limit, that's a racing team, gaming, streaming company that Kenny Haight has put together that has transferred over from the real-world racing aspect, and his love for that transferred over to what gave birth to Over the Limit and the dirt leagues and races that you see going on here. So again, Hate Racing Unlimited. Nerditudes. Owners of Nerd TV, which you are currently watching right now and enjoying this live stream. Again, Nerditudes, anything gaming or simulation related, we got you. We got you covered on that. Again, Nerditudes, get your nerd on. And then Mini Motorsport Doors. Again, excellent, neat little company that we have going on there. As a green flag does fly, racing does take off, and they off into turn number 1 as the 27 of Dale Farnes is on that inside, but he is getting pressure from the 0 of Jordan Gage as they are side by side. But look at that, 3 wide going into turn number 3 with the 8, the 27, and the 0, and it looks like it's going to be Jordan Gage that is going to come out prevailing on that fight coming to the line.
Have Volusia, when you go 3 wide and you don't touch the person to your inside or outside, you know it's going to be a good race. That was a really solid performance. There's still 3 wide in the second row here of the set of cars. Finally some contact there. They had to give up eventually. Some really good race on the initial start. It looks like we got a little bit of trouble in the back. Nope, they actually got it straightened out. It looked like the 94 was going to go around a little bit, but nope, he corrected that. That's fine. A lot of good side-by-side racing in midfield.
A lot of good side-by-side, and a lot of 3 wide racing. Again, so early in this racing event, we're only on lap 3 of 35. These drivers are not leaving anything out to dry when it comes to this. As Jordan Gage is starting to check out a little bit, as he's got about a car length advantage over the 21 of Eddie, who again, Eddie Farnes last week was our double bridesmaid with 2 second-place finishes. He's definitely looking to try to have something, as we have a caution out on the track.
We do. I'm currently trying to find where that was initially. Did not see the cause of it. We're so focused on that main pack racing. Kind of missed where that was, but yeah, awesome racing so far this first couple laps. That was, I'm surprised, a few laps. Not disappointing.
Not disappointing at all. Again, that the start of that race, going off through turns 1 and 2, and hammering it out, and when they dove it off into turn 3, and they were 3 wide for that top spot. Like you said, Jeremy, you instantly knew it was going to be it's going to be a good race. It's going to be a fun race as we go on. Again, caution laps do not count in any dirt racing. Does not count whatsoever. So any of these caution laps, as you see that lap ticker up there, is going to stay 4 of 35, and it will stay like that until they get the green flag and go green flag racing to complete another round.
Looks like they're letting number 5 car, Christopher Hill, go back around, make up his time that he had lost. He had to go to pit road. I think he was the cause for the caution. As we take, it looks like 1 to green here. Jordan Gage is the sole leader with that Delaware restart, sole spot in P1. P2 being Edward Farnes. He gets to choose his lane. Looks like he's going high side. Maybe some 3 wide action for the second row. I'm not too sure there because they go back to 2 wide. Looks like they're having a little bit of fun. But yeah, Dale and Edward actually side by side. They were really fast in the fixed race, and I didn't expect anything different here in the Open Series.
Absolutely not. I would not expect anything as we go green flag. You see the 0 of Jordan Gage jumps down to that low side by side with the 27 and the 21 of the Farnes boys. But it looks like the 27 may prevail on that low line, as he's actually getting that thing to stick pretty well. As he does clear the 21 of Mr. Fast Eddie Farnes. But Dale is getting some pressure there from behind from Vaughn, and that number 8 as another caution comes out. Again, Jeremy, it's the sole saying when it comes to racing that cautions breed cautions. That's because these drivers are prepped, they're ready to rock and roll, and next thing you know, everything bunches up as they're trying to gain as much as what they possibly can, and lo and behold, another caution.
Yeah, it looks like 717, Matthew Matundo. His car, he slowed up in the middle of turn 1 and 2, got in the really slick stuff, and just lost to hit the inside wall. And poor Christopher Hill got tagged, completely innocent, just innocent bystander there. He just got his lap back, got back behind the field for that restart, and then he's involved in the second wreck as well. These guys get 2 each. Pretty fun rule there, so if there is an incident like that instance where he gets tagged on accident, he can get that repaired and still be just fine for the rest of the race.
Yeah, another good option that iRacing does offer and this racing league does partake in. And speaking of iRacing, we want to thank you and give a shout out to iRacing, the official motorsports simulation software of the Over the Limit Racing League and the Fine Racing Series for the DIRTcar iRacing Street Stocks series that you are watching right now live from Volusia Speedway. Again, fantastic simulator, and if it wasn't for the simulator and all the hard work from all the folks at iRacing and iRacing.com, we would not be here and we would not be enjoying some of this racing action that we get the pleasure of calling, Jeremy.
100%, yeah. Going, 13 years strong now and not letting up one bit, producing content left and right. Features that people didn't even fathom of having are in here. It just makes it for the most realistic thing possible. As we're about to go back to green flag racing here, it's a really good restart that time, about 3 car length advantage. They're 3 wide entering turn 1 there, and actually 2 rows that look like about 3 wide at this point. Still holding 3 wide. There's Zach Burnett in the middle of it. Still 3 wide. The whole entire turn 3 and 4. That rarely you see that happen, and still no contact from anybody. That is an amazing race going on right there. Jordan Gage looks like an early checkout though.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was to see three wide racing like that, and so deep in the field too. It wasn't just one line; it was a couple lines that were three wide racing for a solid lap like that with minimal contact, if any, and no caution, just green flag racing. That's a testament to the skill that these drivers bring each and every week. And Jeremy, this is just the dirt street stock. We still got the high-powered, high horsepower, big block modifieds coming up right after the conclusion of this A-main race.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I really impressed with the dirt street stocks. They've been on the iRacing simulator for such a long time, and they have never asphalted dirt. Always produce a good race, regardless of what you throw at them, what kind of track setup combo. They're just fun. They're slow. Or they're slow tanks. They take a lot of damage. You can beat and bang and not affect your car at all. It's just a great time. But the big blocks, I'm super curious how those are going to perform here with these set of drivers. I know they could do it. It's just hard to top some of these dirt street stock races.
It is, as I tell you what, they're pushing three wide again there between the number 8 of Vaughn and the 92 of Austin and the 21 of Eddie Farnes, who has fallen off of that pack now and is now in this battle for third. And it does look like the 8 of Jeremy Vaughn is going to take that third position, but again, he's getting a lot of pressure from the 21 and the 92 as they are right there. All three of them seeming to run separate individual lines, and you can tell how that's affecting them and how well each one of them can get that good run like that.
Yeah, I didn't expect this many cars to run at the bottom. Actually, in 1 and 2, I was just starting to notice, even in 3 and 4, you can see two slick. Oh, we got a wreck. Jeremy Vaughn around, cuts the nose off of the 92. More heavy contact back in the field.
Yeah, it's again, that was that close racing that we had seen going on. It looked like there might have been just a little bit of contact that the 8 of Vaughn trying to hold that mid-line looked to slide up a little bit, and just ever so slight, just a little bit of contact between the 8 of Vaughn and the 21 of Fast Eddie Farnes, and it was just enough to take the weight off of the ass end there and spin it. It just happened to go right down in front of the 92 of Austin. And Austin, as we watch him kind of creep into the pits there, he's got heavy nose damage. It's crinkled up pretty good, but he's going to utilize one of those fast repairs we were talking about. He's going to get that thing fixed, and he's going to head back out there on the track, and he's going to give her another shot.
Yeah, I mean, fortunate and unfortunate for both Jason Gunnels and Cody Heathcock. When Joshua made that contact with the 92, they just got damaged naturally because there was just literally nowhere to go, period. It's a really tight exit off of turn 4. Being a tight corner. I say fortunate because they do have that fast repair option, and they were already in the back, so it's not going to really affect their position on track. So kind of a little freebie there to get a reset, refresh, and get back going without any issue whatsoever. But yeah, tight racing all the way through the field. Really enjoying what I'm seeing so far. Let's hope we can get a long green flag run, and that's one thing that we were lacking yesterday was the long green flag runs. Since we got some practice underneath the belt, hopefully these last 20 laps or so we'll see that happen.
And with the level of drivers and the skill level that we have here, I do not see why we cannot. Like, we've already seen them go 3 wide and hold it 3 wide with very minimal contact. But on the same sense with the contact between Vaughn and Farnes there, Farnes being Eddie Farnes. Sorry, I got to get used to that because we've got Dale and Eddie on the track now. It didn't take much to really kick that street stock sideways. So again, it's going to be interesting on what's going on. As it does look like Dale has elected to take that inside line, as was actually starting to really come into play and really work. As we're going to go on board with the 27 for this restart.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's Jordan Gage again, just. The man right now on these restarts, getting it every time. Looks like about only a 2-car length advantage entering turn 3, side by side, the rest of the field back. A lot more spaced out than what we've seen the past restarts so far. Maybe that's the start of that long green flag run that we were just talking about. 3 wide, far back, right in the middle of Matthew Matondo. Looks like they're going to kind of space it out, as they go 2 and 1, single file rather. The front, though, starting to bunch up a little bit, so I'm going to keep my eye on the front top 5 cars here. Looks like they're setting up the Bruce. Ooh, the little contact there by the 67. Donnie Batiste hit the tires there, the tire barrier. for the pit road entrance. Looks like he got some flail damage there on the left front. Did slow him up a little bit, but he's still holding maintain speed. Because these cars are tanks. He can hit that thing a few times and just be fine.
Yeah, these will take a beating and just keep on ticking. And you were talking about the racing action back there. We're still on board with Dale Farnes because for the first time in a number of laps, we have 19 laps to go. The zero, Jordan Gage was getting some pressure there from Dale as Dale was getting real close. Both of them seem to be running that low line there, but it seems like Jordan Gage is starting to edge out a little bit and starting to pull away from Dale as we continue watching that race there. We're going to go further back in the field, though, and kind of see how that battle for third, fourth, and fifth is going.
Jeremy Vaughn picking up some steam. I don't know if he's got just a late run car, but right now he is hitting his marks. He is marching on that high side. He is one of the front people here. I expect a lot more to be on the top, to be honest, but he's found that open surface out there, and he's about to take over second place if he keeps this up. Jordan Gage is kind of just hanging in there. He's not really pulling away like he did that last restart. He's just, I don't know if it's because of the we got another caution actually on the back of the field here. Around is Matthew Montundo, kicking back 717. Self-spin. He actually hit the tire barrier on the backstretch. Opening wall. Did a barrel or so and got back on his wheels. He had to get his car towed. It was unable to drive to the pits. So that's probably going to end his day, it looks like.
And that's unfortunate for the 717 of Matthew Montundo. Again, these drivers are closing up. Now, one thing that we did see, you had made mention that it looked like Gage was losing some of that speed that he had early on. I don't know if he is a long run, if his car's set up for a long run, or if it was set up for some of the possible track changes that were going to take effect, but he was getting a lot of pressure from behind from that 27 of Dale Farnes. But make mention, we were watching it just before that caution. That's probably something that Vaughn did not want to see in that number 8, which was that caution coming out, because, man, he was on a rail. It does look like the 27 of Dale Farnes has elected to take that inside line on that Delaware. I don't know if that is going to be a good call, Jeremy, with the way that Vaughn was running on that high side in that number 8. It seems like he's just handing Vaughn that second-place finish as long as Vaughn can get a good start here.
Dale's preferred line is the inside, so I can see why he chose that. But, yeah, if Jeremy continues what he was just doing, I don't see why he wouldn't keep second place and even contend Jordan there, or contest rather. It'll be. I'm curious now what his choice is. Usually, if you have a car faster in a certain lane, you want to take that lane from him to maintain. But we'll see what happens here on this restart as we got one to go.
Yeah, and that's why we're in the booth, and that's why they're in the cockpit, right? That they know what's going on. They have a plan. Dale may have something up his sleeve that we're not aware of yet. We can just go based on what we see, but you see the 0 of Gage is on that high side. So you were talking about taking away that line. It looks like he feels that 8 of Vaughn might have been the bigger threat as he was closing up. His pace truck is off. Green flag flies. We're underway, and look at the run that the 8 of Vaughn gets on that high side right behind the 0 of Gage. Contact made between the 0 of Gage and, multiple car incidents.
Huge pile up. Huge pile up. Dale's involved, the leader Jordan involved. They just got bundled up. Jordan got a little loose, had to check up, and huge domino effect. Literally just played dominoes with the top 5 there. That is really unfortunate for a lot of the fast guys. As we saw last week, too, at Williams Grove. Something similar incident where the top 3 got involved in a wreck, and it just shifted the field, the fast cars in the back and vice versa. So a repeat of last week, it does seem like really unfortunate. Also, Batiste, I don't know if you noticed, he actually cut off into pit road right as the green flag dropped. So I don't know if there was an issue going on with him or whatnot, but he did have to take a pit stop, maybe for some repairs or something like that.
That is unfortunate, as you're seeing a lot of drivers duck off. We were watching the 8 of Vaughn, Jeremy Vaughn. He was stuck on the wall. His entire rear axle was lifted up off the ground and could not move. It was just spinning in air. And that just goes to show the level of sportsmanship that these drivers do have, because the person that came over and helped him out to get him unstuck off that wall was none other than the zero of Jordan Gage, and the person and driver in which he made contact with that started this whole situation. But that goes to show the level of sportsmanship these drivers have for each other and the level of respect that they do have each other. They realize it's racing. We're here to have fun. That's the important thing. It's you get the glory of winning, you get bragging rights for a week, but again, we're doing this for fun. There's no sense to get all worked up and upset about something that is meant for all of us to get here, to get together, have fun, watch some racing, race some good racing, and just have a good old jolly time.
Couldn't have said any better myself there. They are setting up back for the green flag here. Jordan still keeping P1. He did not pit. I expect him to pull out a little bit farther this time. Zach Burnett might give him a little run here on the short run. We'll see what happens. Green flag underway rather. Jordan only about a car length or so of a not too good of a start compared to his normal ones, and Zach on his bumper giving him some run. 3x3 though. Midfield as the 78 goes around midfield. There's another wreck. Taking out Joshua Pack, couple other cars. Jonathan Henry involved as well, and Ron Wiley. There's that caution breeds cautions. It just stacked them all up, and some people had nowhere to go there.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, especially with these dirt cars, is that, again, we had talked about it, cautions breed cautions. It's an unfortunate thing when it comes to this racing, but it's something that we have come to expect, so to speak, Jeremy. We understand what's going on. But again, with these cautions that keep coming out, it is really shaken up our running order that we have here. So our names and our threats that were up there battling for that top spots, Jordan Gage is still up there in that number one spot, but look at some of these names that are up there that we hadn't seen before. So again, Zach Burnett, he had been riding back there around 5th to 7th place. He's now up there, and he was battling for that top spot in that 14Z. And look who is riding now to his inside, because it looks like for that Delaware start that Burnett is going to elect to take that high side. Somebody we have not talked about yet this race that we usually do in other races. It's going to be that machine of Mr. Jonathan Wiley. We had talked about him a few weeks back. He struggled a little bit last week, kept getting caught in incidents, kept coming up short a little bit, but he's finding himself running in the 3rd position right now on that inside line with 14 laps to go. Looks like he could sit here and try to make a bid for that top spot as long as things work in his favor a little bit better than what they had the last couple weeks.
Jason Gunnels also was sitting about 5th to 10th, and now he's finding himself in 4th place right now with a little bit more of a chance to contend for this win here. And then Edward Farnes has worked his way back to the top 5 from that last restart. We are about to go green flag racing this time, waiting on the go pedal of Jordan Gage as he gets a good start there, door-to-door check there from 2nd and 3rd place. Is they're going to go almost 3 wide early into turn 1. Oh, door-to-door still hitting each other. Oh, Jonathan, they're in. Farnes up on his door. Big wreck. 5 cars. We got another turtle. Yeah, Gunnels again upside down. That's unfortunate. That's like the 2nd or 3rd wreck he's been in tonight. Also for Jonathan Pack, he's finding every ounce of the action in the most unfortunate way possible.
Yeah, I was just about ready to say, not the action that he wants to see. I guarantee you that Pack would much rather be up there in that race in action, running for that top spot. But again, finding himself in the most unfortunate of circumstances. But again, you see these drivers, they start off, and because of the low speed that these the pace laps go on, when they get on the loud pedal, these things get up and move. And it bunches everybody up. Everybody goes off into coming out of turn 4, going down that front stretch. They're going 2-3 wide. They're going 2-3 wide into turn 1. And like what we had been stated since the first caution, Jeremy, cautions breed cautions, and that's exactly why.
And this track more so because it's just a really tight track on turn 1 and 4. It's just the nature of the beast, especially when you got a lot of cars, a lot of high intensity out there, and everyone wanting to, especially since the field's been scrambled up, a lot of spots are up for grabs right now, so everyone's just trying to get what they can before the faster cars kind of sort their way back up to the front. So I mean, it is kind of expected in that notion, but yeah, the whole inside lines got really slicked up now. As you see, there's no two separate lines. It's just all one big ice patch essentially. So the high intensity plus the track being really slick down there, it's just going to breed just like what we're seeing here with more and more cautions. Jordan Gage though probably getting really impatient. He just wants to win this race. He's led every single lap and he hates to see these cautions. He just wants to go green the rest of the way.
Yeah, and you were talking about that ice sheet out there. You can see that slick spot in the center, and that's kind of what happened between Jonathan Wiley and Zach Burnett. Is they both went off into turn one, and Wiley had a hard time keeping it down, and it just slid up into Burnett as the pace truck is off. Green flag flies, and Jordan Gage leads him down, has an excellent start, jumps out to about a 2-car length lead going off into turn one coming out of 2.
Zach Burnett, sole position of P2. He's finally going to get a moment here to see what he can do for Jordan. Lot clean of a restart. We got 3 wide, actually. As I say that, contact midfield. That looks like it's Jonathan Henry and Ron Wiley. They get it sorted out. They're now side by side again. And I do apologize. Ron did not like that. And it looks like he just turns Henry. They just shove each other into turn 2 inside wall, and that's causing Henry to be a big turtle right now. He's going to have to get the tow truck out there. That's unfortunate for Mr. Henry.
So, it does seem like tempers are flying. Looks like the 11 of Ron Wiley is pulling it in the pits. Heavy damage on that machine there. Unfortunate situation, but not uncommon, as it looks like Wiley is towed and in the pits there trying to get everything fixed, but not uncommon to dirt racing. Dirt racing is probably one of the forms of motorsports where tempers tend to fly and flare and get elevated real quick, real fast. And a lot of the drivers, they race people the way that they are raced. If they feel that they've been done wrong out there on that track, they're going to let that person know. And they're going to sit here and make a little bit more contact back and say, hey, buddy, I didn't like the way you did that. I didn't like the move you did. I'm just letting you know I'm not happy with that. And a lot of times in real life racing, that tends to bleed over to the pits, and that's when you end up seeing those battle royales in the pits where you got driver on driver on driver on crew going at it. We don't have to worry about that here in iRacing, but drivers still do let other drivers know that they're not happy the way that they were raced.
I'm not going to say that wreck was intentional, but listening to some team chatter over the radio, they obviously are not happy with one another and each other. That's clearly expected. They got their own opinions. They haven't seen a replay. They don't have a spotter to tell them what happened. So they just know, hey, you hit me, I hit you. That they got to sort it out that way until they go back and watch the replay of the race. They're not too happy, but anyways. Back to Jordan Gage here. He's going to be taking this restart yet again, which to him probably feels like an eternity. We've ran 3 laps in the past 10 minutes. But green flag again. Jordan Gage with a really good start this time. Once again, just showing his power on these restarts. It looks like Mr. Dale Farnes resumed second place. He just worked his way through the field on those past couple of restarts here, gaining lots of spots either by the wrecks or whatnot, but hugging that inside line. He's actually gaining some ground on Jordan now. Curious to see if he can get it in the final 10 laps.
Yeah, and it looks like the 14Z is there. Oh, we got a car flipping in the back.
Massive wreck. Christopher Hill again finding himself turtled, this time in turn 1. Massive hit to that outside wall. Looks like he got door checked by Jason Gunnels, and then his car just annihilated by the turn 1 outside wall. That is heavy contact. I don't know if he's going to recover from that one. That looked like it hurt. I'm glad I was up in the booth for that one, because nope.
Yeah, we seen that flip there starting to happen. We were watching some of the racing back there with Jonathan Wiley. And the 8 of Jeremy Vaughn, and we seen that flip happen going off into turn 1, even in that camera angle. So that was a wild ride that Chris Hill took in that 5H. machine. Again, glad that I was up here watching it and not in there, because it probably was not going to be a wild ride. But you had made mention, these drivers, unlike your typical NASCAR, your Cup Series, your Xfinity cars, your Gander Mountain, Gander Outdoor trucks, there's no spotters here. And a lot of these drivers, they run them just like what they would real life. Real life, there is no mirrors in these cars, nothing. It is the car, and that's what you got. And that's what a lot of these drivers do to really bring up the realism and to try to help them focus and not be distracted with a lot of the stuff that's going on here. And sometimes that's what happens. You don't realize that there's a car there. Sometimes, Jeremy, you and I have raced with a number of these guys on the Tuesday series, and they're usually really good at saying, hey, you know what, I did drift up and door check you on that one. That was my bad. It's an unfortunate thing, but it's part of racing. You're seeing these drivers line up single file now. We are under 10 laps to go in this A main event, which means the Delaware restarts are gone. iRacing forces a single file restart, something that drives the admins and league owners just batshit crazy when it comes to these restarts. But it's something we have to do as they dive off into turn 4. Jordan Gage leads him to that green flag, going off into turn 1. Tell you, Dale Farnes got an excellent jump right along with Gage on that one as he's all over the back bumper of that number 0. But don't count out that Jonathan Wiley back there as he's still trying to get everything going. But Wiley is now getting pressured from the 21 from the other Farnes, Mr. Fast Eddie.
Wiley high, wide, and handsome out there, really stretching the top side of the track right before that flat stuff. Finding really good speed. There's not a slick patch up there. I'm going to keep my eye out on Dale. He is super hungry right now. He worked all the way up there, back to P2. He doesn't want it for no reason. He wants the top spot. I see it. He's looks like Gage is actually searching a little bit. Do not see him on the high side at all until this, just right now, basically. Maybe he's not feeling comfortable on the long run track surface where it's all slick. It runs really wide up there. Wiley's line.
Oh!
Well, that's really... massive wreck again. Well, not so bad. It's about 3 cars involved in that one.
Looks like
I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was.
Yep, it looks like you got Jonathan Wiley involved in that one. The 21 of Eddie Farnes also involved in that one. So you got some of your top drivers that were bidding for that top spot here late in the race were involved in that incident there. Again, these dirt races like that, a car spins and takes up spots on the track. There's just no other place for anybody else to go. That's why it leads to those pileups. There's not a whole lot that drivers can do behind. These cars do not stop on a dime. I mean, let's remember, we are racing on dirt. And this is very slick dirt now this late in the race, so that'd almost be like you running full speed and trying to stop on a sheet of ice. It's just not going to happen, and it's not going to be very successful.
No, you press the brake pedal pretty hard, and that rear end all of a sudden wants to be in front of the nose of the car, especially sliding to the corner. It makes it super easy to do so. Wiley actually slowed up for that corner. I think he was trying to hug the inside line, avoiding the slick patch. And Farnes just running his normal line did not expect that and slid it in. And he had nowhere to go. Either he's going to slam on the brake and spin himself out or tag Wiley, and that was what happened there. He just... too much momentum and not enough ground to slow his car down. So that's what brought out that caution there. It looked like single file there. Jordan Gage, again, is probably his 15th restart. I'm not sure on the caution counter here, but he really just wants to get this thing done. We got another 5 laps left for the checker flag here.
Now, what this is going to set up...
He's hungry.
Yeah, now what this is going to set up, though, is even though we are doing single-file restarts, Gage, who's been out front leading this thing since the drop of the green flag, you got Dale Farnes, who's been really pressuring him, and that number 8 of Jeremy Vaughn, who has been just rocking that high side. As we go back to green flag racing, and right behind Vaughn is that 14Z, who's worked his way back up after a little mishap slip in the last restart.
Looks like Jordan actually did a little brake check there. It almost seemed like at least Dale had a really good start and just timed it too early. Bounced off the bumper. Jordan gave him a good push. Wiley, super impressive with how he's entering that turn 3 and 4. Really getting some good speed off there. He's going to try to take 3rd place away from Zach Burnett. Really good slide again. Looks like he will take that spot. Jordan, though, found some speed in these final few laps. He just really wants to get this job done.
Yes, he does. Again, he has stretched that thing out to about a 3-car length lead over the 27 of Dale Farnes. But the battle that we see going on right now is actually that battle for third. Second, third, and fourth is now the 27, the 14Z, and the 8 are now nose to tail, door to door, as we're coming up to 2 laps to go. The 8 of Jeremy Vaughn is getting that high side working as he gets in the corner. Look at the speed he gets off the corner. Now taking over that third spot over Zach Burnett. Little bit of contact made there with the 27 as these final laps are closing out here, and it's going to be a wild finish.
As the caution comes out once again, yeah, Jeremy was putting some heavy pressure on Dale. But caution again. This time it looks like for the number, carried a little too much speed on this outside quarter panel and just barely nudged him. And the ice patch that they're racing on right now is not faring well for any car that's a little upset. It just makes it completely upset, and it just goes around with ease. So that's going to set up a 1-lap shootout, if I'm not mistaken. 1-lap shootout, so Jordan literally has one more chance at this restart. He's been on the money almost every time. Don't expect anything different. Let's see if Dale changes up his strategy this final one.
Now, this is a situation here where Dale's going to have to pull out all the stops. He can't hold anything back on this one. He's been conservative on a couple of the restarts. That last one there, it looked like we seen him try to really get that jump on Jordan Gage. He's going to have to pull everything out here. If he expects to get to cross those lines and take those checkers first before any other driver, this is where it's going to count. This is where he's going to have to make it happen. Don't count out that 8, though, of Jeremy Vaughn. If he can get a better restart than he had last time, he might be able to make something happen on that high side. And that 14Z of Zach Burnett's right behind him as well, who has been spot on the last 2 restarts after that one mishap restart that he did have. But you did mention that the 0 of Jordan Gage has been, again, we've lost count how many restarts this guy has made, and he's been spot on. So he's hoping right now, and his focus is I would imagine, is on just trying to have another good, clean restart and make it count, because this is where it's going to count.
Pace truck going down for the final time here in the Street Stock Series. Waiting for Jordan to press the go pedal. He does so, and Dale actually hangs on within 1 car length here. Going to be in turn 1. Jeremy with a good restart, looking bottom. Not usually what we see from him, but he turns him. Zach Burnett takes advantage of that, gets the P2. Heavy wreck, 4 or 5 cars involved.
So that one there, that one looked like a rough one. That one from the camera angle we were watching, I would not say that one was entirely on the 8 of Jeremy Vaughn. He did have the nose on the inside, and he did drag the brake a little bit because he knew contact was coming. And he got a little bit of a bump from behind from the 14Z of Zach Burnett, which propelled him right into the quarter panel of the 27 of Dale Farnes. Again, it's one of those racing incidents. You guys are racing for every bit of space that you can, especially when it's going up to that on that white flag lap. You're wanting to try to do everything that you can. And sometimes that space just runs out and cars kind of hit into other cars. Again, not intentional. It's just one of those racing deals. It was just good, hard racing overall.
Yeah, going back and looking at it, it looked like it was that domino effect again. It looks like Jeremy was going to give him the space, was going to run him close, but was going to give him space, and then Zach Burnett just gives a heavy shove to Jeremy Vaughn's rear end, which put him into the 27th quarter panel. So it's just a domino effect there. Nothing wrong overall with one particular driver. It was just a collection of everyone just trying to get in the corner as fast as possible, and you, like we've mentioned multiple times, you just can't stop on a dime. So that's what caused that wreck. But to round out the field here, Jordan Gage, start to finish, takes the checker flag there. Second place, Zach Burnett. Third place will be Edward Farnes. Fourth place, Cody Heathcock. And to round out the top 5 will be Jonathan Wiley.
And Jeremy Vaughn in that number 8, even after the incident that took place, he does come home in that 6th position. Ron Wiley brings home that 7th place after that run-in and incident with the 7 of Jonathan Henry. Trevor Williams in that 78, even though he had a couple late race incidents, did manage to regain control of that car, bringing home the 8th position. Joshua Pack, we were talking about, he was finding himself in all the racing action, just not the action he was talking about. Still able to bring that thing home with all of that said in that 9th position. And Dale Farnes, after that late race, last lap, turn 2 incident, rounds out your top 10, still brings it home in that top 10. Not the finish he was probably wanting, but at least a top 10 finish nonetheless.
11th place will be Jason Gunnels after a couple of heavy wrecks. Still, for what he went through, was not too shabby of a finish. Christopher Hill as well, 12th place, just 9 laps down. He had to park it after 2 turtles. Jonathan Henry, 13th place. Donnie Batiste with an early exit about halfway through the race, finishes 14th. Corey Austin and Matthew Matundo finish out the field for 15th and 16th.
Yeah, we did have a lot of those drivers that were at the tail end of that, had used up their quick repairs and were involved with heavy damage. So instead of going out there and creating a moving chicane, as you would so well put it, Jeremy, they elected to just call it quits and keep the racing surface clear. So again, good sportsman call on that one there. Good hard racing all around.
It looks like Mr. Jordan might be ready for his interview. Jordan, do you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Jordan, start to finish, green to checkered, take it home first place. How many restarts was that, and how impatient were you getting, especially toward the last 10 laps or so?
Oh, there was a lot of restarts. I don't even know. I can't even count them on my 2 hands and my 2 feet. But, people are just getting impatient and racing for the win. If they want to race for the win, come race with me. But Dale was my only company tonight for the most part. Jeremy was up there for a little bit. Eddie was up there. But, most of the people causing stuff, they're running for last. If you want to finish higher, you're not going to get there wrecking yourself. So, but, yeah, I was getting pretty impatient. I was about ready to pull in the pits and call it a night. Just, I don't want to sit through that. No one wants to sit through that.
At least you had the best spot in the house for that. You made the invitation to join you in the front spot, but when your car is just too good, like yours is on the low and high side, it's hard to knock on your front door for that. How did the track change? It looked like you ran the bottom for the most part of that race until the very end. Were you searching at the last few laps there, or were you just trying to take away Dale's line to hold that top spot?
The bottom was fast for a while. There was a pretty good strip down there in 1 and 2, and especially in 3, and then it was really tacky coming out of 4. But towards the end, I kind of planned for the slider line, so we had a good restart and just ran it, and it seemed to work pretty good. But the bottom out of 4, you had to run just because there's a lot of fresh dirt down there, so you got a really good drive coming out of the corner.
Yeah, and you had to run those lines. We seen you kind of searching and hunting around there throughout the race. Again, you had the car to beat, and you had made mention of some of those drivers that were really putting some pressure on you. I know that the 27 of Dale Farnes was really putting some pressure on you, and Jeremy Vaughn was coming in on that high side. What was going through your head? Because each one of those drivers was respectively running a different line. One was running the low line. Jeremy was really working that high line. What was your mindset as the final laps were closing in on how you were going to try to, say, widen your car up to the width of this small little dirt track here?
At the beginning, yeah, I heard Dale to my inside, so that's kind of when I figured out it was the bottom line in. I wasn't really going to go to the top until I heard someone out there or saw someone out there. But no one really showed me nothing these last 10 laps, so I just kind of ran what I came to run and what felt good in my car and whatnot, and it seemed to work out pretty good.
That is an understatement of the night. I would say it worked out very well for you taking that top spot. Again, you have been having an excellent run on these Wednesday night series that we've been having going on. It's not the first time that we have interviewed you, so you seem to be having a rail going on. Can you continue this momentum going into the upcoming Big Block Modified?
Well, the guy messaged me after the race and whatnot and apologized for it, but racing lap cars, that's racing, so it all comes along with it, and you just got to move on. But we rallied back last week for 3rd place, and hopefully we can keep our momentum going out of these street stocks and put it into the big block.
I tell you what, if you keep running the way that you ran these dirt street stocks tonight, I think that momentum's going to keep going. It's going to sail you a long way. Again, congratulations on that top spot win. It's good to see you in victory lane. Is there anybody you'd like to make a shout out to? Anybody you'd like to say thanks?
Yeah, I gotta give a huge thanks to Octane Inc., Gage Farms, Gage Agronomy, Miller Family Trucking, 789 Designs for putting the awesome wrap on the car, everyone with the league, you guys for the broadcast, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the time and effort that you guys, you and the rest of the drivers put into it. But we're not going to take up any more of your celebration time because we know you want to celebrate a little bit for a few minutes before you hop behind the wheel of those big black modifieds. Again, that is Jordan Gage, your winner tonight for the DIRTcar iRacing Street Stocks Series. Again, congratulations, and we'll see you here shortly.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks.
No problem, man. All right, so looks like we're going to jump to third place. Edward Farnes ready for his post-race interview. Edward, Eddie, do you have a copy with us?
Yes, sir.
Crazy race out there. You changed a lot of spots. From your perspective, how was the race when you were actually green flag racing? Like, was it pretty intense in your position, or were you just along for the ride?
Oh yeah, I mean it was fun when we were actually green flag. I think we went 15 laps green flag, and then all those cautions started happening. But it was, especially I think that top 5 group, it was crazy. And I got into Jeremy there, and that was unfortunate, especially because we always raced great together, and I just drove in a little too hard and got him on the right rear. But I don't know, came through the field a couple times and then hit my own teammate again. So it was just an up and down night for us, I guess.
Yeah, this track does kind of invite some of that kind of racing too, especially this whole track was slick at the very end there, and so not much grip overall, it seemed like from our perspective anyways. Coming on third place after all that, though, I mean, it has to be a little bit of a nice sensation to have, especially because, you know, I think you passed at least 15, 20 cars, if I'm not mistaken. How was your car overall for them?
It was actually good. I mean, we made an adjustment. I knew it was going to get slick. We tightened the cars up, and you saw what Dale was doing up front. He was keeping right up with Jordan, and we were, I don't know. My car felt good. It was the lines were so difficult to find. I mean, at the beginning of the race, the bottom was there, and then throughout the middle, it went to the top, and then it was changing all around. So you had to be in the right spot at the right time to make passes.
The right time, the right spot at the right time, indeed. We've seen you in some real hairy, real close situations. May not have been hairy for you, but for calling the shots up here, I mean, you guys put on a hell of a show. I mean, there were times where you guys were 3 wide in there. How was some of that racing, again, before that long string of cautions, again, because cautions breed cautions started coming out? You guys were putting on some good racing. How did it feel to be able to push at 3 wide and hold that for a lap and not make contact with anybody and really get some real good, solid racing going?
Oh, I mean, that's what we're doing here. I mean, that's what you're looking forward to, I guess. Me and Dale, we've raced with Jeremy for the last few months in another league, so we've always ran great. And I think that first lap we went 3 wide, and we squished down the middle, but no contact. I mean, that's what you're looking for in racing, is the 3 wide, battling for position as hard as you can. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun when you can do it, and sometimes you just gotta. It really depends on who you're around, and if you do it with the wrong people, sometimes it can end up bad for you.
And I would say that you guys were doing it with the right people, because you guys put on a heck of a show. It was wild, and it was nothing to see you guys going 3 wide numerous times in the middle of the race, on the restarts. You guys were definitely putting on a show out there for everybody else. Now, coming up to that last restart, that was a caution that probably nobody really wanted to see, because everybody was just getting in the swing to those final 3 laps, knowing that it was going to be a green-white checkered. You guys were going to get that start, get that white, and go on. What was going through your mind like that coming up to that last restart, and when the events unfolded between the 27 of Dale and then the 8 of Vaughn and the 14Z of Zach Burnett? How did you find your way through that and the ensuing chaos that happened afterwards?
Coming to that last restart, I was just hoping for a top 5, especially the night I was having. So, it was. I saw Dale go around, and I went to the bottom. Everyone else went to the top, and somehow the bottom was the only lane that opened up, and I squeaked by and got third. And I definitely don't feel like I deserved it. Dale and Jeremy were up there the entire race. They should have been where I'm at, but we'll take it. And it sucks because, like I said, Dale's a teammate, also cousin, and Jeremy's a good buddy. So it sucks to see them have a good night and then get kind of screwed over right there at the end.
It is unfortunate, especially when it's somebody that you've raced with a lot of times. But you, as well as all of the other drivers, know that sometimes that's just how that checkered flag falls. Sometimes Lady Luck's on your side. Sometimes you're on the short end. That's just dirt racing, and that's just racing in general. But either way, you say that you didn't deserve that third place finish. I can't speak for Jeremy, but I say on the contrary, my friend, because you were up there in that top 5 all night, and you were up there running and fighting for those top positions as well. So you deserved every inch that you got. I'm sure that Dale and Vaughn, they'll bounce back. They've got the skill, but you go out and celebrate and enjoy your top 3 finish for tonight. It was well earned. It was hard fought. Is there anybody you'd like to take a shout out to? Anybody you'd like to say thanks?
Oh, yeah, of course. I got to thank. He was running third, and I got into the back of him. So that was upsetting. Mountain View Plumbing, DOA Pro Wrestling, all my real life sponsors on here. Dirt Slinger Wraps for the awesome wrap. I think they do half the field that's races on those cars. So they do awesome work. And like I said last week, joining the league late and just glad to be in here and you guys putting on the broadcast.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate you showing up each and every week. Again, it's the second week in a row, and we've interviewed you for the third time. So I don't know. It might not want to go anywhere because you keep getting closer and closer, and you keep getting a lot more airtime. So again, congratulations on your third place finish. It was hard fought and well earned. That is Mr. Fast Eddie Farnes, your third place finisher for tonight's event. We're going to let him go and celebrate before he hops into his big block modified and tries to sling some more around this track and see if he can't do a little bit better than third place. So congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Jeremy, and as that has wrapped it up, this one here, I do know that the practice sessions are going to be getting ready for the big block modifieds. This one went a little longer because cautions bred cautions, but overall I think it was a solid race that we did have. A lot of racing, a lot of 3-wide racing. I tell you what, Jeremy, it's got me excited for the upcoming big block modified series that we're going to be seeing here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, curiosity's peaked right now to see how these cars are going to perform tonight. The racing here, yeah, it was once it was green flag, it was really good. I wish we had a longer green flag run because I'm sure some of these drivers wanted to show off their skill and make some moves on the track, but when you have cautions that breed cautions like that, it's really tough to pass cars. Dale made a really hell of a good effort there to get himself back into position. Unfortunate finish for him, but when he was tangled up midfield, and I think within 5 laps he went from 10th to 2nd. It was really impressive to see. But yeah, great race overall for the Street Stock Series, and we'll see what happens on the next one.
And that we will. Again, it is time. It's that time there, Jeremy, to call it quits. But again, we're not going to go very far, folks, because we're going to be firing up and we're going to be watching some big block racing action here in just a matter of 10 to 15 minutes or so. On behalf of myself, Dustin Logston, and the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley, calling all the action for Nerd TV, part of Nerditudes. We'd like to thank Over the Limit Racing League for allowing us to broadcast these amazing events and the racing action that we do get to see and call each and every week. We want to thank the league sponsors that we have out there. So Hate Racing Unlimited, Dirt Slinger Wraps, you guys heard that. A lot of the paint jobs that are done for this racing league. So a lot of the beautiful paints and, beautiful before the race started, not so much after the race started. But a lot of that work is done by Dirt Slinger Wraps. They do amazing work. Mini Motorsport Doors, again, excellent little novelty doors. You can use them for anything. Check them out, facebook.com/mini motorsport doors. They do excellent work. very reasonably priced. So, again, we'd like to thank all the series sponsors. And for everybody else, stay classy out there, stay safe, and we'll catch you at the track.
Game on.